All right, what's up, you guys? Preston James from the Laughing Buddha Recording Studio, bringing you another video and record review or album review. This is the place where we give the artists, the composers, songwriters, producers, and engineers the credit they deserve, not leaving out the people who actually make the record work and come together. I think that these engineers and producers and songwriters are overlooked and not given the amount of praise and viewership that they should get. So that is one of my main goals with these album and record reviews. So the album we're doing today is Tones and I, Beautifully Ordinary. What an amazing album. She killed this album. I can't be even more impressed. There's something I do every week is I go on to iTunes, it's Apple Music now. I go on to Apple Music and I look at all the albums that have been released for the week or that night. So I'll go on like Thursday night here in LA at 9 o'clock and see all the albums that have dropped. And I'll just sift through and I'll click on the biggest ones, like the biggest names first and listen to those. And then throughout the week, I will see who else dropped albums and just even based off the name or the album cover, I'll just click on it and just see what it is. It doesn't matter what genre, because you know the saying, if it sounds good, it is good. So I just kind of sift through and just see what I relate to. But clicked on this album, had heard her name before. This album is a follow-up to her 2021 album, Welcome to the Madhouse, which I went back and listened to after I was listening to this new album. And that's an amazing album too. But this Beautifully Ordinary is, I don't want to say the word perfect, but that's pretty much the word I want to use in a lot of ways. She is Australian born and a newer artist per se, at least especially to me. But this album comes from so many different directions and has so much passion and compassion and feeling behind it that it grips you right off the jump from the song To Be Loved. The song that I personally relate to the most, or I should say that I can't stop listening to, is Dreaming. And I'm coming from a production engineering standpoint. I'm a recording and mix engineer. So the bass that's on that album, that's on that record is just phenomenally done. And shout out some of the mix engineers, Alex Gania. I'm sorry if I ruin some of these names. Alex Gania, Andrew Morey, Richard Stoles, who did a lot of the recording as well. Steve Dresser, Dean Reed, Miles Walker, and Mark Mangilio. And again, I apologize if I didn't say those names correctly, but man, you guys killed it. The engineering is just, so yes, Beautifully Ordinary. What an album that starts from beginning to end and keeps you, it takes you on this kind of journey. And I love albums that take you on a journey. We are here to uplift and give praise and positive feedback to artists for what they put out. There's too many negative reviews and criticism out there of these artists. And the point here for myself is to give appreciation to these artists and engineers and producers and songwriters. So this album is a perfect example of what hard work, dedication, dreams, determination, perseverance. I could feel all that in the album. And I need to shout out Toni Watson, which is Tones and I's actual name. I need to shout her out because she wrote every single song on this album. 90% of the songs, if not more, is just her. She's a creditor. It's just her. She collaborated with other people on a couple songs, but 90% of the album is all her. She wrote the music. And the first person that comes to mind when I think of that is Taylor Swift, who writes most of her music as well. So when artists do this, that gives another layer. It like adds to the depth of sacrifice and perseverance and consistency that it takes to make an album and put that work in. So that's just another level. I think she also did a little bit of the recording, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but she definitely did some of the production as well. And again, so this artist truly embodies the name art. she has contributed to her own album and her body of work on many different levels. And that is something not to be looked over. So shout out Tony Watson, Tones and I. You are a true artist. You are amazing. Thank you for what you do. Keep killing it. This album is so good. For the mixing, I think it's the top tier. The mixing on this album is top tier, as well as the production, but the mixing is kind of what I listen for, being a recording and mix engineer. That is, they fine-tuned everything to the point where it is so clear and upfront, and everything has its own space. Her voice fits very well into the music, that it's not glossed over, it's not pushed back, it's not pushed forward too much. It fits very nicely into the instrumentation, giving it this very cohesive sound with this conglomerate of instrumentation, like I said, and sounds that they just kind of they made it perfect. They panned it. They use a right amount of compression. It just it sounds great. You guys did a great job. The recording as well, right? Because it starts with the performance, and then it goes to everything down from the microphone to the recording, then to the mixing. But don't forget the songwriting. I mean, we just keep peeling back the layers in the production, but there's all these layers to it, and it just kind of lined up for her in this album. I would give this album, I'm gonna go ahead and give this album a 9 out of 10. Yes, but my personal opinion is 9 out of 10. I truly, truly believe this is gonna be up for Album of the Year. I would not be surprised if she got it. I don't think they do. Because she already released an album before this, it's not best new artist. So if that was the case, I believe she would be up for best new artist for this album. I'm just completely blown away. 9 out of 10 for this album. If you haven't heard it, please listen to it. Like I said, my favorite song is Dreaming. The album starts off very nice. And when I say nice, I mean very smooth, and letting you know that she's about to start her album. And it just keeps getting better and better, with the center of the album where it's kind of Figure It Out or Raise Me Up and Dreaming is where it kind of really starts to grip the soul, at least my soul. And it keeps going. And then it ends with a song called Call My Name, which is also very vibey and poppy. And yeah, she does a lot of different things on this album, from country feeling to a slow dance song. So sorry if I don't have the right vocabulary for some of this or the terminology, but it's just the kind of things that pop in my head and how I feel about it. But it's ranging from country to modern pop to 2000s pop to rock and alternative to even slow dancing, like that kind of poodle skirt 50s wearing, I don't know, Amy Winehouse kind of jazzy feel as well, with pop as the umbrella over the whole album. So she never lets you forget that it's a pop album, but she just does it in such a nice way of also paying respect to different genres along the way through the album. So yes, if you haven't listened to it, again, check this album out. Let me not forget to mention some of the recording engineers. They will be listed right here as well. But John Christopher Fee, Rick Knowles, and Sam Harris for the recording. The producers, Tony Watson. Again, she did most of it, and if not all of it, on the composing side and the producing side. So you are a phenomenon. Randy Belkofine, Xander Lynette, Jacob Farah, Jerome Farah, Joel Farland, and Sam Harris again. So she had a lot of people, and it seems like she had a lot of people that were doing recording who also did the mixing and the producing, which I think is great. I think when artists have too many people come in from different areas and backgrounds, that they don't necessarily embody the same, they don't have the same vision as you do. And that's not to discredit anybody. That's just to say that some of these people who are involved in the project from the bottom, from the start, they have the vision, and they have the kind of clarity to see where the artist wants to go and needs to go to complete the vision that they have initially before even starting. So when you keep that consistency with people, I think the projects seem to turn out a lot better. So shout out to everybody who worked on this album. And if I'm missing anybody, I apologize. As you can see, I've put the composers, the writers, the recording engineers, and the mixing engineers, as well as the producers. So hopefully I didn't miss anybody. If anybody does know if I missed anybody, please let me know. I want to be able to give them credit. I think it's very important that these people get their credit. So yes, please do. Again, my name is Preston James from the Laughing Buddha Recording Studio here in Los Angeles. And what we like to say here is do what you got to do to get to where you want to be so you can do what you want to do. Again, do what you got to do to get to where you want to be so you can do what you want to do. Please be positive and respectful. And all this is for the community and love of music. So spread the word, spread the positivity, encourage each other, support each other, make the world a better place. Release your content, release your videos, release your tutorials, release your reviews, release your music. The world deserves to hear you, and the world is a better place for having you in it and releasing your content. And each one of us has the right to put our voice out into the world. And I like to say, let them hear you. All right? Let the world hear you. Let them hear you. All right, you guys, please like, follow, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Much love. Appreciate you guys for stopping by and listening to me rant about this amazing album. And until next time, all right, love you guys. Be safe. Stay out of trouble.